welcome back to my favorite series of all time, Zero Waste on a Budget, otherwise known as free ways to live zero waste. Today we're diving into 25 more ways to live zero waste totally for free. Today's total will bring us to 350 ways to live zero waste without having to spend a single penny. Hello everyone, it's Emma and welcome back to my channel where we talk about all sorts of things zero waste, and of course we focus on free, easy, and fun ways to live zero waste. I love the idea of kind of turning zero waste upside down, because years ago it was thought to be this very elitist, expensive thing that you had to have time to do, but I'm like, no, I'm lazy, I don't want to spend money. That's what's inspired this series. If you want to check out the rest of the series, parts 1 through 13, you can check them out up here. These tend to be some of the most chaotic videos you will ever see because I write them down on my phone as I think of them, the most random things, as you will see, and then I put them on a list. They're not categorized. So if you want me to make videos categorizing them, like how to live zero waste for free in the kitchen, how to live zero waste for free in the bathroom, zero waste for free while you're shopping, let me know and I can make categorized videos. But for now, here's part 14 of random ways that you can live zero waste for free. Don't throw food out your car window. I know it's tempting because it's biodegradable, right? An animal might have it as a tasty snack, but let me tell you why it's dangerous. The short version. The long version, you can check it out up here, why food waste is actually litter, but the short version, particularly throwing it out of your car window, it will attract animals to roadways. If you have a really good arm and you get it way out into a field, maybe, even then, it could start an invasive species, it could still harm an animal. But chances are, you're not really throwing it that good because you're focused on driving, right? You shouldn't be focused on throwing when you should be focused on driving. It might end up on the shoulder, it might end up in the ditch, and an animal's gonna get really close to the roadway in order to find that snack, and they could end up being hit. So if you don't want to do it for other environmental reasons, do it to prevent an innocent animal being killed. This is what I mean when they're so random. Oh, perfect, it has plastic tape on here. Number 2 is to remove plastic tape from boxes. So random. I just got this box from Lomi, my filters for my Lomi, and it has plastic tape on here, so in order for it to be recycled correctly, plastic tape needs to be removed. Now, I did do some research on this a couple months ago, I suppose, because this was a big conversation in the eco space, is do you really have to remove the plastic tape? Technically, no. Would I still encourage it? Yes. Because again, it's free, it's easy, this goes in the landfill. But technically you don't have to. In the same vein that you don't technically have to have your recycling clean and dry. But the better that we all recycle, the better our recycling systems become. As we're all probably familiar with by now, recycling is very broken. The more small steps that we can take, like removing plastic tape from our boxes, really just ensures that this will actually get recycled instead of landfilled. Similar to that is to remove plastic windows from envelopes. I think I have one. I sure do. The good old VA loves to send me mail all the time. And they have these plastic windows. So again, you can remove this probably more carefully than I do, but I just rip the envelope. I rip this whole thing off and I throw this whole thing away because it's so flimsy, it rips really easily, but then this whole part can be recycled very easily. Do you have to remove it? Technically, no, because they'll put all of the paper through like a water bath and theoretically the plastic will float to the top. Sometimes it doesn't and it'll end up in the batch anyway and ruin the batch. So I say, just to be safe, if you're able to, remove any sort of plastic from your paper because mixed materials can't be recycled, and this just ensures that it will actually be recycled. Once again, a mixed material, that is to remove staples. That is to remove staples from your paper. Go in here with your fingers and undo the staples. You could use a staple puller, or you can just, similar to the envelope, just pull off the whole corner. It's like a little bit that's going to end up in the landfill, but now this entire thing can be ensured that it's recycled correctly. I haven't actually researched this, how they get staples out of paper. I'm not sure they do because like that's in there. They might just do what I do and shave it off like that. I kind of wish I didn't do that though, because I was actively using this. Do it for the content. But now again, that paper can be recycled correctly. Also, if you're shredding paper, if you're in an environment where you have to shred paper, this can ruin your shredders as well. Just a small staple, sometimes if it's not an industrial shredder, do that to make your tech last longer as well. This next one is so silly, and I thought of it last year when we lived in Spokane, and I still think of it all the time because in the RV, we use a hand broom instead of a vacuum. And I'm like, wait, I'm conserving energy by using a broom. It's very simple, I know. Of course, if you have a big house, you know, a couple thousand square feet, that's a lot to ask to broom the entire house. But in our little RV, it's so easy to sweep with a broom, save some energy. And then I also used to use like a little vacuum to suck up the dirt pile and then put it in the trash. But since all of our dirt in here is natural, it's like leaves and dirt and stuff from outside, I just sweep the dirt outside and we're good to go. Now I don't have to use any vacuum and I don't have to send anything to the landfill. And then also in Spokane, this inspired the next one, that is to also use a broom over a leaf blower. We did a lot of leaf blowing when we worked at Washington State Parks last summer. And I was like, oh, this is so wasteful. Of course, I couldn't broom sweep an entire park. I was doing like miles of pavement. But if you have just a small sidewalk in front of your house, use a broom instead of a leaf blower to save some energy and save some money. This actually might be the most organized zero waste on a budget I've done. You know, we had our recycling and now we're moving into energy because our next one is to air dry your hair. Instead of using a hair dryer, just let your hair air dry. Of course, this depends, like if you don't want to go to bed with your head wet, if you don't want to go to work with your hair wet, do what you gotta do. But if you wash your hair at a good time, just let your hair air dry and then you can style it and do what you need to later. More about hair, instead of curling your hair with something electric like a curling iron, or I curl mine with a straightener instead of having to buy a curling iron. I guess that's a second one. A bonus for this episode. Use what you already have. I use a straightener to twist my hair instead of buying a curling iron. Anyway, you could also do heatless curls to save energy. Now there are a bunch of tools these days that you can like buy to do heatless curls, but back in the day when I did gymnastics and dance, we would cut scrap fabric, wet my hair with a little bit of just like spray, wrap it up, tie it in a knot, and then do a whole bunch of them. It's comfortable to sleep in. You can do it overnight. And it was such tight curls. Like, I don't think I could achieve this style of curl that I like with that. There are so many different ways that you can do heatless curls to save energy and also do it in a free way. When you're washing your hands, air dry your hands too. You can shake them out while you walk back to wherever you're going to. Or alternatively, the next one is to shake out your hands really, really good before grabbing a paper towel. Because yes, some people don't like having damp hands, they want to dry them off. So instead of using a hand dryer, which are also just gross, by the way, using a paper towel, they seem small, right? It seems like you need to grab 2 or 3 or 4 of them, but really you only need to grab one if you shake dry your hands a little bit first. So give your hands a good shake over the sink and then grab one paper towel to get the rest off. The next 2 are to take advantage of free little libraries and free pantries, both if you need stuff and also if you need to donate stuff. Of course, do not donate expired food to these food pantries, these free food boxes. But if you have something in your pantry that you're like, I grabbed an extra can of chickpeas, I'm probably not going to use it, it's not expired, let me go put it in this free little pantry. Same with a book. If you read a book and you're like, I didn't really like it, I don't want to keep it, let me donate it, you could seek out an actual thrift store, or you can go to a free little library and donate it there, and then also maybe find some books that you can exchange. I'm not sure if free pantries have a website, but I know that free little libraries do, and you can check out their website down below. I think it's literally just like freelittlelibraries.org. But yeah, basically what these 2 boil down to is donate instead of throw away. Oh my gosh, another one. This was clearly all written when we were in Spokane. This next one is to check your warranties. My laptop absolutely died last summer. I only had it for 6 months and the motherboard crashed. We thought we were gonna have to find a recycler and then spend money to buy a new laptop, which was extremely wasteful on both ends. But we checked the warranty and it was still under warranty, so it was able to be repaired for free. So always check your warranties. A lot of places will do free ones, at least for like a year or 2. And you might be able to get a free repair to keep something out of the landfill and prevent you from buying something new. These next few, it depends on how technical you want to get. I separated them all, probably just to extend the life of this series. But here are several ways that you can reuse your old toothbrushes instead of throwing them away. Old paintbrushes. We loved doing this as kids. They make great for making splatter paint. You can also use them as dish scrubbers, like a little scrub brush, especially for like, my cup is getting a little crusty right here. Let's see if you can see it. Let me show off my crusty water bottle. Right there in that crevice. And like a regular dish scrubber probably couldn't get in there, but a little toothbrush probably could. Or you could use them as grout scrubbers. Basically, they make great little scrubbers for like small areas. You could use them as labels in your garden, especially bamboo toothbrushes that are easy to write on. Or you could take a plastic toothbrush and like put a piece of tape on there as a garden label. A few ways that you can reuse popsicle sticks, again, garden labels. Or reuse popsicle sticks for crafts. There are so many crafts that you can do with popsicle sticks. And these are great upcycles for this summer. Oh my gosh, so many of these. Like they literally are bringing back all these memories from Spokane. Our oven in here sucks. We were experimenting making cookies last summer. I would make like 4 cookies at a time. Like 4 cookies per day. And I'm like, well, how wasteful to heat this oven up to 350 degrees every single day just to bake 4 cookies when you could crank your oven up to 350 one time and bake all your cookies at once. So that's this tip. Bake all of your baked goods at once to maximize the energy and not have to heat your oven so many times. While you're waiting for your shower to heat up, use that water to brush your teeth. It's a very, very simple way to use that water, but one very, very simple way that you can maximize use of that extra water is to use some of that water to brush your teeth, wash your hands, shave, whatever it may be. Take advantage of that water before it gets hot and before you're actually jumping in. Very similar to that is to also use that water to go ahead and wash out your period underwear, your menstrual cup. I like to do this while I'm waiting for my shower to heat up. I will wash out my period underwear while I wait. Use of that water. Cold water is actually better for the period products anyway. And now that water isn't just going fully to waste. All right, we started with leave no trace. We're bringing it back to leave no trace, and that is to not carve on trees. Will it kill them? No, but does it harm them? Yes. And then also it just encourages other people to do it as well. Once one person graffitis, you're going to see graffiti everywhere. So just don't do it, especially on living trees. If you want to carve something, carve a bench, carve a picnic table. It's still rude and disrespectful, but please do not carve living things. You, one person, might not kill that tree, but if enough people carve it, it could harm the tree. Similarly, while you're out hiking and particularly mountain biking, be mindful of the trees. I've talked about not stepping on roots before in this series, but this one particularly for mountain bikers, be mindful not to hit trees. And that sounds silly, and I don't mean like full head-on collision with a tree. What I mean is your handlebars. Try not to scrape trees as you're going on the trail. I know it can be tricky, but like don't purposefully go out harming trees while you're mountain biking, because again, it might not fully kill the tree, but it can harm the tree. It can introduce disease and pests and other stuff. And our last one for today, keeping it random, is to reuse your tea more than once. Tea bags typically aren't as high of quality, but you can get more than one use out of them. But loose leaf tea, you can get 2, 3, 4, or even sometimes more uses out of them. So keep that in mind. It's totally free. In fact, it will save you money, and of course it will save waste. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your time, and I hope that you enjoy this series as much as I do. I love also seeing your suggestions down below for how you live zero waste totally for free. If you're looking for 325 more ways to live zero waste for free, again, check out the full series above and below. I love this series. I'm so excited to keep it going. I have at least 2 more parts, and then I've also started a new series, which is essentially called How Much Money Zero Waste Swaps Can Save You. Instead of talking about zero waste for free, it's talking about like how much money you can save by using a reusable water bottle. Because so many people, including myself, are like, yeah, a reusable water bottle is expensive. Reusable tissues are expensive. Eco-friendly toilet paper is expensive, but how much money can it save you? And that's what we really get into in that series, which you can also check out right here and down below. So I'm kind of doing 2 different series, one focusing on like strictly free stuff, and then the other one is how the zero waste swaps can save you money, even if the swaps aren't free. But some of the swaps are free, like a library card. Anyway, I'll see you back in this series one day. I like to do at least 3 of these per year. We'll see how many more I can think of. So leave your ideas for how you live zero waste for free down below, and you can get a shout out in the next video. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, remember that your small actions make a big difference in the long run. Bye, guys. I hope that's okay. And I want to use what I already have. So that was it. Number 2. Instead of using a hair dryer, just let your hair air dry.